Hi, today we'll learn about one of the things I share in Excel Ninja, Excel from a guy. Recognized as the top cost provider for Action 2023 by HRD Corp and Ministry of Sumber Malaysia. Well, what we'll discuss, right, is that this thing called LET. The LET function in Excel 365 is a game changer for financial modeling and calculation. It allows you to define variables and reuse them in the formula, making complex formulas easier to write, read, and maintain. So why? Why is that important to finance team? Improve clarities. You see, right, when you want to create discounted cash flow or IRR, so these are the kind of complex formula, right? So make it easier to understand. Reduce errors, avoid duplicating the same calculation, right? When you have more duplications, chances are more mistake, for human mistake happen. So it also boosts performance because it calculates expressions only once. So what does that mean, expression, right? So let's say here, this is one example here. The expression here is only once time, right? And then you can define the variables and the kind of values. So this is the syntax, the names and the values, and the name and the values, and then the name and value, and so on. Now let's look at one simple example. Right here, we're going to go to the formula bar here and then just type in let, open parentheses, and now we go to the next slide by pressing alternate enter. Okay, alternate enter, and then now we just want to put there that there's the original price, right? So we're defining a variable called original price, and you can either write the name, write a static value like 20 ringgit, or you can also define by clicking on the cell C3. What happens is that Excel will know that, okay, so you have a variable and then there's a value assigned to it, right? So it's like an Excel VBA or programming skill, right? If you are familiar with that. Next is that we're gonna have a calculation, right? So we have this price, right? So now because this value is going to put into sales price, so I can just say that I can put the sales price right there, and then comma, and then the sales price is basically the original price, and then you look at the bottom here, right? We get times and 1, and then minus 0.1. So kind of like what? Original sales price, right? So kind of discounted price, right? So let's say minus 10% of it, right? So what would that be, right? And then now this is a calculation. Now finally, I can also have another line called sales price, right? So and then enter, and you get 18. You can see that, right? 20 minus the 10% of it, right? 2 ringgit, and then minus that will be 18. Now, and then I can just double click on it. It works that way. Now over here, right? If you only have one calculation line, right? Then you actually don't need this, right? You just need this without this. And bear in mind all the comma there as well, right? So enter. Okay, so that is easier. And now the bottom one is not, right? So you got to just duplicate, copy the formulas into it, right? Now you can also read this as such a way, if you want, right? You can write all into one line. So variable, the value, and the calculation, right? So depending on which one you like, right? So okay, I see. I mean, yeah, like this. Okay, and then enter. So one is this, the other is this. Oh, right. Okay, finish just there. Now that is the easiest way to use the let function, right? We also have talked about that. You can do the let here, and this is slightly more complex, right? Because that it contains of not just one variable but two variables, right? So we store the P, right, which is the price, and the SST in cell C3, and finally we have a calculation, and then we have also another one. So we can say this is one variable, and from the variable we can immediately put in a formula inside, a function text after there as well, last name as well, and then finally these are variable, and the last one is a calculation. So when we talk about all these, right, it's because of the syntax. We can see that name value, name value, and then finally the last item is called calculation. So we also talk about that you can have even more complex things like these right here. So you can have this here, and also this is one of the more complex one. We can see that here a variable and value, and then there's variable and then the calculations, and variable and the calculation. Now finally, you still need to have a result, right? So out of these two calculations, which one you want to choose, right? So you can choose margin or you can choose profit. Now let's just see here, what does it mean, right? This is the final one, and look at this here, right? So revenue, we assign it to C3, expenses, we assign it to D3, and profit is basically revenue minus expenses, and then margin is this here, and finally it's margin. Now, and margin is 32%. Now, can we change the last item to say that we don't want to use margin, we want to use profit? Well, actually, yes, it's possible, and you can see that it will instantly choose, although you have two calculations, but the last part, right, is you can choose which one you want to show finally in this one cell. And this is, notice that this here, they only calculate once, and then they you don't store this in one, and then this calculation of revenue is using again and again, but it's only used one time. That's the effectiveness. Thank you for watching.